Now let's do some party issues now, where the Electoral Commission has suspended the limited registration exercise opened on Friday. Now the Electoral Commission on Friday announced the opening of the voters register for Ghanaians who have turned 18 and those who could not register in the last exercise. Now some political parties had earlier registered their displeasure at the exercise, saying it did not conform with the provisions of the 1992 Constitution. Now joining us on the line is Christian Osupari, the Director of Public Affairs, Electoral Commission. Thanks for joining us. Why the sudden U-turn to let the voters register go ahead?
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon to your viewers. Yes, the Commission has decided that the intended continuous registration of voters must be put on hold, so that we can meet the stakeholders at IPAC to discuss the exercise before we will look at how to implement it. So basically, it has been put on hold pending further discussion with the stakeholders.
Mr. Parry, somebody will ask, didn't you know you have to meet stakeholders before or consult them before you go ahead with the opening of the register?
Well, we had all this time planned meeting the political parties at IPAC this Friday. Unfortunately, we thought that if we could start the exercise, and we had at previous IPAC meetings mentioned the issue to the political parties that we would one day embark on the continuous registration of voters. So even if we started and then we discussed any further details with the political parties, nothing was going to go wrong.
Critics say you violated the Constitution. You violated, especially CI 72. You didn't go according to it. Therefore, you shouldn't have gone ahead at all. Apart from the consultation, didn't you see that you flouted the Constitution as well?
Well, I don't know which provision of CI 72 that we have violated. Regulation 9 sub-regulation 1 of CI 72 enjoins the Commission to do continuous voter registration, and that is what the Commission thought of implementing. I don't know specifically which provision they're talking about.
Right, they mentioned Section 22, which allows you open registration at a place near the people, but others would have to travel from one place to the other to do that. Therefore, it contravenes the CI 72.
Well, the law says that the Commission also has the power to designate any place as a registration center. So if the Commission decides that for the purpose of a continuous voter registration, the district office of the Commission should be the registration center, I do not think that it breaches any...
So now, what is the way forward? Finally, aside meeting them, what else do you have in mind?
Well, the way forward will be determined by IPAC this Friday. We're going to meet the political parties who will discuss it, and based on what the outcome of the discussions will be, we will know the way forward.
Thank you so much. Christian Osupari, the Director of Public Affairs, Electoral Commission, reacting on the Commission's suspension of the limited registration exercise, which opened last Friday. Now on the line is the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Esiedun Ketia. They raised red flags on the issue. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Esiedun Ketia. Now, are you vindicated, will you say?
Come again?
Are you vindicated, will you say?
Oh, well, it's not about personal vindications. It's about looking for a solution that will push the interests of the nation first. But we are happy that the Electoral Commission has listened to the voice of all the political parties. I think it's a good thing.
What were the concerns you were raising in the opening of registration exercise?
We complain about lack of consultation and lack of proper briefing about the process. And I think that the Commission has realized that they made a mistake. And so they are going to call all of us to go through the exercise again before they can get back on track. And I think it's good because the cardinal principle of elections management is to get stakeholders on board so that you can maintain integrity in the system. If your system is, however good the system is, if the stakeholders, particularly the participating political parties, don't have confidence in the system, it damages the outcome. So it is important that we are all taken on board so we can also educate our followership so that there will be general acceptance of the credibility of the voters register and to promote the confidence in the electoral process.
So now you are satisfied it has been suspended finally?
No, it is not a question of satisfaction. That first step is welcome. Okay. But we have to now go and meet and deal with the consequential issues. For instance, what happens to names that have already been captured? Are we going to start all over again? And so on. There are a lot of consequential issues that we will be dealing with. And I believe that we are on track because they will now take everybody's views on board.
We have the NDC General Secretary of the NDC, John Sisiodin Ketia. Obviously, parties are happy that it has been suspended finally. Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, MP for Measure South. Thanks for joining us. I asked a similar question to the NDC General Secretary. Are you vindicated, will you say, by the suspension of the EC of the voters register?
I am not in the vindication business, so it's not about vindication. It's about constitutional bodies and public institutions abiding by the law. That is more important. You don't set out to do an illegality and hope that nobody will realize or nobody will know. Or that same attitude that meant go to court should stop. The EC must be seen to be acting legally within the confines of the law. Else it will lead to a lot of untoward effects for the country.
Now, EC says, look, they don't see any illegality here. You mentioned that they flouted the CI 72. They really want to find out specifically where did they flout in the CI 72.
Please, I'm not sure anybody in the Electoral Commission can say that because even some of the commissioning members were not aware of what these things that we're doing and their own officers were complaining. But let me take you through. When you go to section 2222 of the EC law, it talks about the EC should check everywhere they are used as a registration center, the suitability of the place as a polling station on the day of election. I would ask, is the district electoral office a suitable place for a polling station on the day of elections? No. The EC should make sure that everywhere they are doing as a registration center is accessible to the people within the electoral area. So if somebody is supposed to travel 60 kilometers to the district electoral office, is it accessible? No. The EC is supposed to make sure that the registration is done in an open place so that people can challenge the eligibility of candidates. When you go and do it in a district electoral office, when the public is not invited, have you acted legally? No. The EC is mandated by 14 days before opening. You should accept and inform all the political party and interested stakeholders. Did they do that? No. The EC is supposed to give the names of the registration officials to interested persons and political parties 21 days before the day of the start registration so that people can object to the registration officials. Have they done that? No. So the EC must on every end of every registration day give to the political parties or interested persons a printout of all those who came to register. And in their current circular, they say 1 month. Is it legal? No. So I don't know which regulation the EC is reading. But if it's reading regulation CI 72, then the person who signed it has caused an illegality. We should ask what is the inconvenience caused to Ghanaians by this? A voter register, a credible voters register, is the same condom for a credible, fair, free, transparent elections. So if you start manipulating the electoral register by persons unknown in EC or persons conniving with other persons in EC, that could be possible. That you are setting Ghana up for a recipe onto a path of disaster. That is why I'm saying that the person who even signed this circular should be subjected to such a sanction.
Doc, thank you so much. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is MP for Menchia, reacting on Electoral Commission's suspension of the limited registration exercise, which was open last Friday.